What's good, guys? Prod by Alexander here. Today I'll be cooking up a beat in the style of rod wave for you guys. So rod wave generally uses those melodic piano type beats with guitars and all that. So right now I have a piano open from Keyscape. It's the LA Custom C7 grand piano. That's usually my go-to for these rod wave type beats, man. That shit is crazy. And then rod waves beats are usually like around 160 BPM most of the time. So today we're gonna be working in 163. I might change that at some point during the video, depends on the vibe and the melody, but first let's get started off with making a little basic chord progression. Okay, so for this chord progression, we're in the key of C sharp minor, and I have my little scale helper up right now to make sure everything's in key. I definitely recommend you guys get that, especially if you're new with making melodies. It's so helpful. Alright, so I just laid down a pretty basic chord progression, nothing too crazy, it's very simple. This is how it sounds. So you want to keep it pretty basic because you want to leave room for the artist to kind of do their thing on the beat. So you don't want to go too crazy with the chord progression, but the top melody, that's where I'm going to kind of sauce it up a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do this. Alright guys, so I added a top melody to this chord progression, and here's how it sounds. So nothing too crazy, it's pretty basic but also melodic, and it catches your attention a little bit at the same time. Also, another little tip for you guys, I know a lot of people don't like to do this. Personally, I do it just like a little bit because it adds a nice realistic feel. You can randomize your notes. This way the velocity and the panning kind of gets skewed a little bit. This way it sounds like a real piano. So I do that, and you just pick which one, like you could set how you want it. I'm just going to do this because this looks fine. And then also I strum the notes a little bit too. This way it just gives it a complete like realistic feel to it. And here's how that sounds. It definitely has a nice realistic feel. It makes it sound better than if everything's just hitting at the same time with the same velocity. Okay guys, now that we have our basic piano melody down, we're going to start by adding a guitar. So right now I have the Evolution Hollow Body Blues guitar up in Contact. I have the Big Fat Blues preset on. So we're going to see what we can lay down now. Selena definitely tries to complement that piano. Okay guys, so I just laid down a pretty basic guitar melody to layer on top of that piano, so here's how that sounds. So like I said, you don't want to do anything too crazy, but you definitely want to keep it interesting and you want to catch the ear of the artist that you're trying to send it to. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do for this melody is we're going to add a couple little accent points. So right now I have a couple sound effects pulled up. Here's what they sound like. Those are just little things that will catch the ear of the listener. They add a little flavor to the melody, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go lay these down right now. Alright, so now that we have those finished, here's how it sounds. Okay, Okay, so now at this point, I'm just gonna add some reverb to the instrument to make it sound a little more like realistic, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna keep it simple, just gonna be fruity reverb too. And what I like to do, I like to turn up the size, and I like to turn up the mod depth a little bit, and I turn up the wetness just a little bit. And then it gives it kind of like a little more realistic feel. It sounds pretty nice. So once I'm done with all those, I'll show you guys how it sounds. Okay, so now that I added the reverb to the instruments, here's how it sounds. Definitely gives it a bit of a realistic feel, has a nice little echo to it. It definitely is a little more pleasing than if it's just completely bone dry. So now after listening to the melody for a little bit, I decided I wanted to add a little something to it, give it a nice like feel to it, so I decided to add a boo bass. So with this, you're just going to open it, go to your piano roll, and you're going to want to copy and paste your bottom notes, the bass notes from the piano, and you just add them here, and I'm going to bring it up an octave. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, I mean that sounds good in my opinion, so I think we're gonna keep that. It just gives it a nice like bassy, rumbly feel. It's like a nice little added tone. Okay, so now that I have my melody done, I'm just gonna lay it out and arrange it, and I'm gonna export it as a WAV file, and then we'll start on the drums. Alright guys, so once you export your loop, you can start adding the drums. So I just have a mix of drums right now. I have some stuff from my kids, some stuff from other kids, so I'm just gonna show you guys right now how I get into that. Alright guys, I just finished laying down a pretty basic drum pattern and arranging the beat to fit that rod wave type vibe. I don't really add much to my drum channels when I mix, but if you guys would like to see a tutorial where I go over my mixing and leveling process, let me know down in the comments. But really all I have is a hi-hat, clap, snare, open hat, 808, and a kick. Like with these type of beats, you don't really want to overdo it because you want to leave room for the artist to flow, and like they kind of want to like talk to their audience a little bit with these like emotional type beats. And also, before I play the beat for you guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys drop a like, comment, and sub. Also, let me know what you guys want to see in the next video, man. Give me suggestions down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this beat. And also, stay tuned for me and Pride by Jacob's loop kit. It's coming soon. And make sure you get with me on Instagram at Pride by Alexander. I'll see you guys in the next one.